Well, today's topic is going to be about day killers. And guys, I'll tell you, over my career, I have run into some crazy day killers. Sometimes they can be people, sometimes it can be things in our lives, but I want to talk about it today because, nothing, again, is more important than hitting your numbers for the week. And you're not going to be as effective at hitting those numbers for the week if you allow day killers to mess your schedule up, all right? So what am I talking about with day killers? I want to go ahead and hit you with a quote here, and I don't remember who said it, but it's always stuck with me. Activity does not mean productivity. Activity does not mean productivity, all right? So you can be out there working, and you can be not getting anything done at the same time. What is the only thing that matters when you're out in the field on a power day? New premium, okay? New premium is the most important thing you can do. It always amazes me how I think we sometimes don't want to go to the field. Some days we just don't feel it maybe, but that's the time you got to push yourself. That's like the day you don't want to go to the gym and you've got to just push yourself to do it. It's the same thing. You know you need to do those push-ups, but you don't. So what is it in our lives that maybe slow us up and kill our day? A lot of little things. But I'm going to talk for the most part today about people who waste your time. And maybe you're not even sure. Maybe you don't think they're a waste of times, so you spend more time with them and that wastes even more time, okay? So for the new folks listening to me right now, I want you to probably spend more time with people than some of our more seasoned veterans, because you've got to learn kind of the cues. You've got to learn what to identify. It's going to be harder for you early on to know when to walk out of a home. But this talk today is going to help you understand and maybe start to identify some of the things that might be costing you time. Listen, we only have a certain amount of time each week to get our numbers done. The biggest thing I've seen over the years, people ask me all the time, what is it that makes agents struggle and agents succeed? And I've seen a lot of very talented producers over the years go out of business simply because they didn't care enough about their numbers. Man, I'm religious about the numbers. You've got to hit your goal every week. Tom Mitchell and I were talking yesterday about growing the organization and what it looks like long term and just kind of where we're going with things. And, again, we're sticking to our numbers, the growth, the plan, what we're doing, who we're hiring, who we're recruiting, the way we're doing it. We've got to be very focused on that. We've got to continue to put people in to the pipeline to get where we're trying to go. You have to do the same thing with your production, with your business, with the little things you do every day. Do them consistently, and you're going to have massive success over time. All right? So identifying some people or some things that might waste your time. Well, look, we're in the senior market. We help those folks get life insurance. And if you're out there meeting with people like that, occasionally some of them will just want to talk with you. I had a client one time in Columbus. I think I spent an hour and a half with this gentleman. And at the end of the conversation, he looked up and he just said, well, I'm really not interested in life insurance, and I was just wanting to talk, and I enjoyed the conversation. That's a tough objection because he really didn't care. He didn't want anything. And I had spent a tremendous amount of time wasting time with someone who just wanted to talk. And if you know me, my presentation is very much, I like to let the client talk as well. I like to find, if you build a friend first, people like to buy off of people they like and trust. And so I like to have a two-way conversation with the customer, get to know them, let them get to know me. But this particular client just wastes a lot of time. There's been a lot of clients like that over the years who have wasted my time. In other situations, I've realized pretty quickly there was no interest. And again, you got to be careful with that, but you get to the ones that are at least semi-interested, okay, looking for something. Build the need if you think there's a need there. As Bill Ham always says, smell the sale. If you smell the sale, then hang in there. But some people genuinely just want to talk and waste your time. Something to think about. I want to know if there's an opportunity. That's the question that should be in your mind. Is there an opportunity when you get to the home? Now, initially, always go with there's an opportunity. Because I love it when people tell me, I'm not interested, I'm not buying, you're not going to get my bank account. That's not what I'm talking about. I close those people all the time. But is there really an opportunity? If the person said yes, would they buy insurance? Let me tell you something about a couple people who always buy off of you. People who have payees, okay, someone else has to pay their bills for them. They don't have control of their bank account. Someone manages their money. Those people always tell me yes. It's crazy. Some of you are probably chuckling right now as you're listening to this. You're like, I always sell them, but I can never get the deal closed because they don't have control of their money. 99% of the time when you call the payee or if you can get a hold of them, no, they're already good. They don't have any more money in their budget. But they always tell me, yes, they can afford it. They want to buy. Then they say, I don't have control of my money. The other people I always sell are the ones that don't have bank accounts and have a prepaid debit card. Those people always seem to buy, but they don't. There's no opportunity there because they don't have a bank account. All right, and so there's no sale. So I try to identify pretty early, and not to get into the presentation today. That's not what this talk is about. But in the presentation, we try to identify earlier on whether the customer has an ability to pay the premium. Because the worst thing you can do is spend 90 minutes with someone, wrap the deal up, go to get the bank information, and they have a prepaid debit card, which is not an acceptable form of payment. So or they don't have any type of account at all. That's always fun when they tell you that. So just remember, not an opportunity. You can close them, but it's a day killer. Waste of time. You spent an incredible amount of time with someone who there was no opportunity to close. They just wasted your time. Is there income there? You know, if you sit down with an individual who is, let's say, 55 years old, and they don't have a job, and they tell you that they are waiting on their disability, you're probably wasting your time. Again, I would get real direct real fast, ask them something like this. So if we were to find something affordable for you, would you be able to pay those premiums since you don't have income right now? And they're most of the time going to say, no, I really don't have any money. And give them your card and respectfully bow out. Well, Miss Betty, give me a call, excuse me, as soon as you get your income check, and we'll go ahead and get something set up that's affordable. These programs are really designed for someone who has an income, and unfortunately right now that's not something you have. Again, it's nice if you want to talk to them. It's great to have a fun conversation, but how much is it costing you? See, I have a family to feed. I've got 6 kids. To me, my focus is I need to make my money each week. That's what I'm out there for. I'm not out there to just make friends, though I do enjoy that. I've got to hit my numbers. And guys, you've got to have this attitude. Listen, you are responsible. That's probably the biggest difference in those of you coming from an employment background where you got paid to work versus getting paid today for your activity, paid for results. There is no sick pay. There is no waste of time pay. There is no pay for anything other than results. And so you've got to go out there with a tenacious attitude toward winning and success. You've got to hate zeros. At the end of the day, you've got a zero. You've got to be angry with yourself, And I mean, I've had zeros plenty of times. But your attitude should be, that's not happening tomorrow. We're going to get this thing. We're going to finish the week strong. I've had many bad days. Very rarely a bad week, and I've never had a bad month in this business. I want you guys remember that. Remember, the numbers work out if you work the numbers. You keep working the system. So no bank account, waste of time. Are they just there to talk to you? Do they have any income at all? All things to look for. Guys, another one that could be a waste of time, and again, I think it's important to spend the appropriate amount of time with every client, but someone who is genuinely a guaranteed issue, let's say a Gerber or an AIG. There's no other opportunity. If you sit down with the customer and they tell you they've got terminal cancer, if they tell you, hey, I've got HIV, if they tell you they just had, something very serious that there's nowhere else to go. They're on oxygen, for instance. I want you to sell them. We're going to go get Gerber. That's why we have these products. But I want you to get probably more direct. Get to the point faster. Don't waste a ton of time. Excuse me. Several reasons for that. One, that business is not as good a quality as the level of benefit. Even though they need it more, those folks oftentimes do not keep the policies as well. That's one to remember. And not that health is always related to someone's lifestyle choices, but I will tell you oftentimes it seems like it goes hand in hand in our business. If someone's not taking care of their body, oftentimes they're not taking care of their finances. And so you'll see more of that. And if you're new, you'll realize what I'm talking about the longer you do this business. But get the deal. Just don't spend 2 hours in the home on someone that you're making a half or a third the commission on than you would another case. Go ahead and get the deal wrapped up. Get out of there. Go to the next one. Send them a nice thank you note later. Again, you guys have to understand your time is valuable. I had a funny story. I was doing a ride along with a gentleman from Florida, probably 7-8 years ago now, and middle of winter. I still remember it. We went through this part of Cincinnati. Man, I could not find a healthy person to save my life. I think I wrote 11 or 12 applications in a week. I mean, it was a great week for sales. Like 9 of them, though, were guaranteed issue. I couldn't find healthy people. It was so bad. So at the end of the week, I'm probably sitting over $10,000 in premium. It's all the rah-rah. And I made almost no money because there was so much guaranteed issue business. And so that doesn't happen very often. Typically, that would be flipped. There might be 2 guaranteed issue cases and 9 good level benefit type cases. But again, just hurt my commission a bunch, and didn't have a lot of deposits that week because of it. And again, not to get too much off topic, but this is why we love the Mutual of Omaha graded product. Commission is still high, but I used to put people. Let's say someone had a heart attack, last week. They had diabetic combination. Some of that stuff you can go with Mutual of Omaha graded and get the client a very good rate. I mean, exceptionally good rate. 2-year limited benefits period, but that's not a big deal, and still a very good commission with a A-rated carrier. And so also proper placement is important. Don't assume that because someone has health conditions, it's not worth wasting time. Again, make sure it's really a guaranteed issue. Call your manager if you're unsure, because if you write a $100 graded with MOO, that's just as good in my mind as a level benefit MOO for $100. Both phenomenal, both pay great commission, both going to be with you a long time, hopefully. So just pay attention to what's going on there. So, guys, I hope you got something out of it today. Don't let the day killers waste your time.